5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I think it's his personality, his wittiness, his attention to detail, and he's funny as hell. That was one of the first things that I kind of noticed besides the throwback jerseys is how funny he was. He makes you genuinely laugh. And then after you're done laughing, he's also giving you the game too, like the game of life, the game of the inner city, the game of, you know, how to be a hustler.
Rich knows what it's like to have been doubted. I think you see that as fuel, and I think that he can relate to people who have been doubted in that same way.
Rich is different just because he's rich, and he approaches the business in a different way, and I think the players relate to him in a different way.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce our Trailblazer, Rich Paul. I am Lorenzo Griffin, my partner is Richard DePriest, and together we are Team Padres. Rich Paul can be described as a transformational leader through his vision to create Clutch Sports Group and the impact that he has made by changing the lives of athletes and their families worldwide.
In 2003, LeBron James hired Rich Paul for his marketing team for a $50,000 a year salary. Rich then shadowed LeBron's agent for about 7 years. In 2012, Rich Paul founded his own agency then, Clutch Sports Group. He has since signed over 25 NBA clients and negotiated over $1 billion in contracts. Clutch Sports Group is the 13th most valuable sports agency in the world. Rich Paul's net worth is approximately $100 million.
Rich Paul represents LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Ben Simmons, Trae Young, Draymond Green, John Wall, and one of the Inland Empire's very own Lonzo Ball from Chino Hills, California, just to name a few. Rich Paul was born December 16, 1981, in Cleveland, Ohio. According to psychologist Dr. Daniel Goleman, there are 5 domains of emotional intelligence, and one of them is motivating oneself. As Rich Paul was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, he learned the importance of being self-motivated through the challenges he faced growing up in the inner city of Cleveland.
You know, my city was very segregated growing up. But my parents didn't teach that, they didn't allow that, and I never wanted to be that way. And I have all type of friends, and I treat everyone the same.
So tell me what you're looking at.
So I'm looking at a picture of my dad, young, and my mom and myself. She was a very strong woman. She was the life of the party. She was extremely helpful, to give you the shirt off her back type of person. My dad was always there. He was always Johnny on the spot. He was always very hard on me and my brother and sisters because he knew what the world brought forth. 2 of the most important people to ever be in my life. And I know I'm making them proud, so that's very important. Here in this neighborhood, it's not a matter of years. It's a matter of minutes to the hour to the day. In a day, your whole life can change. Sometimes you heard bullets flying, you heard people running. How do you make it from here? How I make it from here, who knows?
You've arguably become the most influential person in the NBA because of the clients that you have. We all wonder, like, how did you get here?
By not taking the money.
So what you mean, you didn't sell out?
Not so much as sell out, but just not being enamored by the money and being more focused on the position and making change in something you actually believe needed change.
How did Rich Paul meet LeBron at the airport? Rich was a 21-year-old kid selling throwback jerseys out of the trunk of his car in Akron. He skipped college and bet on his hustle instead. Rich was about to board a flight to Atlanta to buy more jerseys when he bumped into a teenage LeBron James. Bron was rocking a Mike Vick jersey and headed to Atlanta for the Final Four. Rich was wearing a throwback Warren Moon jersey that immediately caught LeBron's eye. Keep in mind, this was 02, and throwback jerseys were like Nike Off-Whites in 2017. The duo exchanged info, and Rich hooked Bron up with a Rams Joe Namath and Magic Johnson jersey. A year later, Bron went 1 overall, and Rich caught an invite to his inner circle. Bron hired Rich for $50K a year before he went to work at a major agency and eventually founded Clutch Sports in 2012. The media blasted LeBron for signing his friend as his agent, but he knew something they didn't. He knew firsthand the type of work Rich put in when others weren't watching, and most importantly, he trusted and related to him. They both grew up struggling in Akron and played ball for Catholic high schools. Sometimes life is all about timing. Rich told ESPN in 2012 that if I don't have on that jersey, we don't have that conversation.
Rich Paul is a true visionary. After learning from LeBron James' agent, Leon Rose, of Creative Artists Agency for 7 years, he took the leap of faith and founded Clutch Sports Group.
In 2012, Rich left CAA to start his own agency, Clutch Sports. Last year, it ranked 7th in the value of contracts negotiated at $1.7 billion.
Clutch Sports decides who wins the championship.
When I first got in the position that I'm in, I was Rich Paul with a high school diploma representing the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Only because he's my friend. Right. There ain't no friend in the world gonna put their entire career in your hands. I don't care who they are. I was so used to earning my stripes that it's second nature to me. Like, you gotta earn your stripes. When I decided to really focus on being an agent and really dive into it, I really found a love for it in ways that was more than just player contract. You know, talking to guys, seeing them grow.
You are always a forever learner.
Know what you don't know. I just think that's so important in life and in business. So things that I'm not great at, I don't try to do. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I don't know it all. But you know what? I couldn't do it without the people that's with me every day.
The Rich Paul rule was seemingly put in place to keep a certain group of individuals away from pursuing a career in being an agent. Rich Paul used his platform to speak out about this being unfair, and it created a frenzy, which led to the NCAA amending the rule. This is a great example of overcoming a challenge, which is one of the characteristics of a successful leader.
In August 2019, when the NCAA announced a bachelor's degree would be required for agents to represent student athletes testing the NBA draft, Paul decided to take a stand against a rule that directly disempowered athletes and created barriers for black NBA agents. A college degree wasn't necessary for an agent until that point. Some allege because the NCAA realized Rich Paul didn't have one.
There's absolutely no reason where to be an agent in the NBA you have to have a college degree. I mean, you have to be certified, but you don't have to have a college degree. And that not only that, you could walk down a road and you could get to where you would say this might be race-based.
I just didn't like how that rule was eliminating certain people, because Rich is right. There are challenges of going to college today to try and get that degree. We know going to college can cost you $50,000 per year. Not a lot of people can afford that.
The classic sort of American rags to riches story, in essence. I mean, what he's overcome in his life, difficult circumstances, and be the success he is today demonstrates that there are other paths to success.
And while Rich Paul was able to continue representing athletes his own way, it was clear he played a pivotal role in shifting the power dynamic between black athletes, black agents, and institutions for years to come.
For the last 25 plus years, there has been many conversations surrounding the topic, should college athletes be paid? As of July 1st, 2021, the Supreme Court elected to allow college athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness.
This is the #1 reason why we've created this platform. To be able to have moments like this where we got the governor of California signing a bill.
billions and billions of dollars. $14+ billion goes to these universities, goes to these colleges, billion+ revenue to the NC2A themselves. And the actual product, the folks that are putting their lives on the line, putting everything on the line, are getting nothing. You can only imagine how they're responding to this notion of name, image, likeness, and the opportunity now to do what every other student in the university can legally do.
I believe that it's a beginning of an educational process for the athlete if they're able to benefit from their image and likeness, because they get to the highest level and they're uneducated on the business of themselves as an individual. If they're able to attain some type of compensation, it helps them understand the business aspect of it there.
When you put pen to paper right now, what's this going to change and what's it going to do?
It's going to initiate dozens of other states to introduce similar legislation, and it's going to change college sports for the better by having now the interests, finally, of the athletes on par with the interests of the institutions.
And many believe it was in that barbershop where Rich Paul and Governor Gavin Newsom had a conversation that created the momentum to create change once and for all. Rich Paul demonstrates leadership by developing others. By definition, develop the person by helping him, her, them learn and get promoted. This can be seen as Rich is hired by college athletes to guide and mentor them through the NBA draft process as they prepare to become professional basketball players. As we analyzed Rich Paul, we discovered he has an ability to look beyond himself as he inspires individuals within his own organization to be great at what they do and help them achieve their goals. Rich Paul once stated, and I quote, "Someone can give you center stage and the microphone, but if you can't sing, then the crowd is going to boo you," end quote. Many may say LeBron James gave the microphone to Rich, but it is clear he has taken it and made the most of his opportunity and is in the process of cementing his legacy in the sports history books with being one of the most powerful agents of his generation.
But I'm not satisfied, I'm not complacent. I know there's a lot of work ahead to be done to continue to inspire and be impactful for those that's coming behind me, despite their skin tone or their gender.